let's begin with what's happening in the Bengal cash scam. As per ED sources, a black diary has been recovered from Partha, Aide. There are many explosive information in the black diary recovered from Arpita's house. There's information of whose name should be put into merit list as well. We're getting some breaking news as well that Partha and Arpita to be grilled together. Big news coming in, viewers, right now. So far, both of them were being grilled separately, but the news we are breaking at this point of time is that Partha and Arpita now will be grilled together. They will be grilled together. Big news coming in here on the grilling of both. Remember that Partha was discharged from AIIMS earlier, and this story, we continue getting you the top updates on this big story. Remember that the quizzing was happening separately. Now we can tell you is that in the quizzing, both will be brought together. They will be face to face with each other when the grilling begins, viewers. Remember, this is the big story right now, and Shravan Sen is joining me as well. Shravan, take us through what's happening. They have been being grilled separately, but we're getting news as per our sources that now they will be face to face with each other, Arpita and Partha. All right, getting some technical issues, getting to our senior editor, but Priyanka is also joining me. Priyanka, these are stunning and explosive details of the SSC scam case. Now, what we are learning is that Partha and his aide Arpita now will be grilled together. That essentially means that they will be brought face to face with each other. Priyanka, take us through the details.
Well, this is, of course, that was expected to happen as well, because we had seen that the interrogation of Partha Chatterjee was supposed to be done. Of course, his statement will also be taken separately first with Partha Chatterjee and Arpita as well. But of course, a joint interrogation is also something that the Enforcement Directorate had wanted to do so that they can be confronted with each other's statements and also can be confronted with the documents as well that had been recovered. Now, also let us not forget that Arpita in her interrogation, according to sources, had also said that this cash that had been seized by the Enforcement Directorate from her house is also something that belongs to Partha Chatterjee. So now those points can also be brought up in this joint interrogation. That will also be asked. And also all of these things that have been seized, all of the seizures that have been made, including the mobile phones that had been recovered, including the documents which had the West Bengal government insignia on them, and of course, jewelry that had been seized as well, and the money laundering case that has been registered with respect to these dubious financial transactions as well that had been carried out. Those will be also the points that will be asked to both of these accused together, so that there are no discrepancies between the statements of both of these accused, that is Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee as well. And now we are seeing that we had also been learning that Arpita Mukherjee in fact is actually cooperating with the ED officials, but Partha Chatterjee is still not cooperating, is what we were also learning. But we are expecting that the Enforcement Directorate will be carrying out a joint interrogation so that both of the accused can be confronted with each other, with each other's statements to make sure that there are no discrepancies in both their statements.
Priyanka, exactly. So statements are being scrutinized separately. So when they'll be interrogated together, they will check for any inconsistencies as well. That's what you're saying, Priyanka. Okay, all right. Also, when it comes to, like you were saying, the diary which has been found, which has got some very stunning details there. Take us through that, Priyanka.
Well, that's right. More and more details are coming to light when it comes to the SSC scandal, and of course the diary that has also been recovered, the pieces of evidences that have been recovered, the documents that have been recovered, all is under the purview of the investigation, and all of these points are something that the Enforcement Directorate had wanted to ask both of these accused in their custody, and that is why, and these were the points that they had made inside the courtroom as well, that this is the reason that they need Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee both together in their custody so that they can be confronted with each other, and then they can be also confronted with the documents as well. And of course, the scandal is only getting bigger now, Shivangi. As we are seeing the investigation goes further, there are more and more names that are also coming out with respect to big leaders that had been involved in this entire matter, the close counterparts of Partha Chatterjee as well. Now, of course, a very important link in this entire matter is also, of course, Arpita Mukherjee, who is cooperating, who is talking to the enforcement directorate, who is responding to the questions as well, and answering them about the documents that had been seized, and the seizure list that we have also accessed. That really shows us the kind of seizures that had been made by the enforcement directorate, and what really that is a telling sign of with respect to this entire SSC scandal of the recruitment scam, in fact, that had also come to light. But of course, as of now, the enforcement directorate focusing on the money laundering part of it, looking at the financial transactions of it, also asking them questions about the cash that had been recovered, and of course the companies that were being used to launder money. That is also another part of the investigation.
Priyanka.
Apart from that, the kind of
Priyanka,
properties that
sorry
are
to
being
interrupt
amassed.
you. Keep getting us updates from the ED office.